Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really fun. We are revisiting and formalizing the absolute core of programming, and we're going to use our digital whiteboard to break down the foundations of Python. Now, even if you're already pretty familiar with the tech world, mastering these ground-level building blocks, that's exactly what separates the casual observers from the actual builders. So by the end of this session, we're going to have your foundational mental models of code completely locked in. Let's get into it. First up, let's start with a really fundamental question. How exactly do you tell a machine what to do? I mean, we often think of computers as these brilliantly smart entities, right? But the reality? Well, computers are extraordinarily fast, for sure, but they actually have zero common sense. Literally none. Without human instructions, your super powerful laptop is basically, well, just an expensive paperweight. So how do we bridge that gap? Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. What is programming? 2. Why choose Python? 3. Setting up your workspace. And 4. Variables and data types.
Section 1. What is programming? Translating human ideas into machine language.
So to translate those ideas, it helps to think of programming exactly like writing a recipe. Your data acts as the ingredients, and your instructions, those are the cooking steps. When we write these precise recipes for machines, we use a very specific term, an algorithm. An algorithm is just a step-by-step logical procedure for solving a problem. And honestly, you rely on algorithms every single day. Think about your GPS. It takes your current location, evaluates the live traffic, and calculates the fastest route. That step-by-step logic, that is an algorithm in action. And you know what's wild? Every single program ever written, from a basic little calculator app to the absolute most complex artificial intelligence, it follows this exact four-step execution flow. First, you have an abstract idea. Second, human-readable code. Third, the computer, specifically something called an interpreter, executes that code line by line. And finally, the output, the tangible result you actually see or hear.
Moving right along to Section 2. Why choose Python? Well, it all comes down to the power of plain English.
Let's just completely shatter the myth right now that coding syntax has to be intimidating. What's really interesting about this comparison is how it shows two totally different worlds. On one hand, a language like C++ requires strict grammatical rules, highly complex symbols, and literally hours of environment setup just to get started. But Python, it skips the curly braces and all those confusing symbols entirely. It reads almost exactly like a standard English sentence, and you can be set up and running in literal minutes. Python brings some massive strengths to the table. It's highly readable, it's backed by a huge global community, and it completely dominates advanced tech domains like AI and data science. Plus, it's free, open source, and cross-platform. But honestly, the absolute biggest advantage for you, it is exceptionally fast to learn. Because of that gentle learning curve, you can be writing genuinely useful programs in hours, not weeks. It's a real game changer. All right, Section 3, setting up your workspace, or as I like to call it, building your digital workshop. Now, please don't let tool installations stress you out. Here is your fast, totally painless 5-step workshop setup. First, download Python 3. Now, this is absolutely crucial. During the Windows install, you must check the box that says Add Python to Path so your computer's terminal can actually find it. Second, download VS Code, which is our fantastic, completely free editor. Third, install the Python extension inside VS Code. This gives you highly helpful autocomplete features. Fourth, verify it all works by typing Python -- version in your terminal. If you see a version number pop up, you're golden. And step 5, create your very first file, making sure to end the name with .py. With your file created, it's time for a true rite of passage, the classic first script. You just type, print, open a parentheses, and put the words "Hello World" in quotes. And that's it. One single line of code. When you run this, your computer will immediately display those exact words back to you. And this brilliantly illustrates how simple it is to get a working output. It's beautifully simple, but it proves your entire digital workshop is functioning perfectly. Okay, Section 4, variables and data types. We're moving on to the raw materials of your code. So think of a variable as a labeled box stored inside your computer's memory. Imagine a physical cardboard box, right? You take a Sharpie, write age on the outside of it, and you drop the number 25 inside. By giving that box a name, you can instantly retrieve its contents or entirely change what's inside it later on in your program, just by calling its name. It's really that straightforward.
Now, what exactly goes inside those boxes? Well, Python utilizes 4 core data types. First, we have int, or integers. These are your whole numbers, like 42 or 0, perfect for keeping score or tracking ages. Next up is float. These are decimal numbers, like 3.14. You use these for things that require absolute precision, like financial prices or scientific measurements. Third is string, or strings. This is just text, always wrapped in quotes, like the word hello, and it's used for names or messages. Finally, we have bool, or booleans. These are simple true or false values, used for straightforward yes or no decisions, kind of like checking if a user is currently logged in. So the crucial point is that each of these types represents everyday, completely understandable items. You now intimately understand how programs flow, why Python is the absolute ideal tool, exactly how to set up your environment, and how variables and data types hold it all together. You literally possess the fundamental building blocks of code. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first? A game? A sophisticated calculator? Maybe a tool to automate all your busy work? The power to create is now entirely on your machine. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Go ahead, open up that code editor and start experimenting.